as spooky season comes to a close, I can't go without talking about my favorite event of the year, Halloween Horror Nights. This year I attended the event in Orlando in early October, and to be honest, I have mixed feelings. So if you watch my videos before, you know that I have attended the event in LA, but never really Orlando. Although this wasn't my first year attending it, it was actually last year. But here's the thing, I actually feel a little bad for being as harsh as I was on LA in previous years, because although it was still fun, my first time at HHN in Orlando was a little rough.
Okay, I'm skeptical. I'm not seeing any scare actors in this zone. What's going on? I need the scare actors. Where are you?
If I don't pee my pants somewhere, I'll be mad.
We want to pee our pants.
I paid money for this.
I paid money to pee my pants. Orlando, I've heard so many good things. What happened?
We should have just stayed at our home park.
And that's kind of why I never uploaded a vlog from last year's event, simply because, and I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough, but I'm really frustrated with the video recording policy in LA versus Orlando. It's just frustrating not being allowed to record in the houses unless you are an influencer who was invited to do so. Can we just make the policy the same? Why are they different? Why? I might still upload last year's vlog, but it does focus more on the food and merchandise since I wasn't allowed to record in the houses, but it could still be fun to watch. So the big IPs announced for this year's event were Five Nights at Freddy's, Terrifier, Fallout, Jason Universe, and I'd even throw in the Horrors of the Wyatt Six, but that's just me being unfamiliar with WWE, and we'll talk about that later. First impressions, my most anticipated house of the event was Five Nights at Freddy's. I know a lot of people wanted this to be announced at last year's event with the release of the movie, but of course they had to give it a little bit of time to breathe and garner a little more hype, not just with the existing fan base, but with new fans as well. Especially with the sequel coming out this year, it goes hand in hand and it just makes sense. Not a fan of Terrifier, I hate gore. Although I have really been enjoying all of the TikToks that I've been seeing of people's interactions with art just roaming around Universal. I don't know, maybe he's slowly growing on me. Don't quote me on that though. I didn't watch or play Fallout, so I was really depending on my friends to fill me in on the lore. And I was looking forward to Jason Universe because I am a fan of the Friday the 13th franchise. So the day of the event, we messed up. We messed up bad because we broke the cardinal rule. We arrived around 5:30 when the park was already closed to the general public, meaning we got stuck outside with general admission when we had early entry. Yeah, I felt so ashamed of myself standing outside the gate with the crowd. I'm not usually like this, okay? Now, typically we try to get an early start by being in the park already before everything begins, but honestly, the day just got away from us. Some of us were still working remotely while others were just tired from the park days we had already had. But shout out to the staff member who guided us to the least crowded entrance. She was a real one. And once 6 p.m. hit, we did our best to weave through the crowd to make it to the first couple houses. So our first house of the night was Five Nights at Freddy's, and this one was notorious for having the longest wait time. And this sentiment was pretty consistent, not just throughout the night, but throughout the season. First house of the night, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes because right now,
It's already at 100 minutes, like the regular.
yeah, so we're gonna see if our express comes in handy. We'll see. We entered the queue at 100 minutes, and I kind of used this as an opportunity to test out how efficient our express pass was. So I started tracking our wait times throughout the night for every house, which you'll see later in the video. Okay, we just got scanned and we're at 8.5 minutes. So far so good. And for this one, we clocked in at about 13 minutes when we reached the entrance. Side note, I can't imagine getting through the night or trying to get through the night with just general admission. You're just gonna be wasting so much time in the lines, and these lines are atrociously long. Get Express if you can. There are a finite amount and they can sell out. And it is by no means cheap, but if you can swing it, it'll save you a lot of time and frustration. The house itself, I was a little mixed on. Design-wise, it's very cool, and from a technical standpoint, super impressive. I think it was just really fun to step into this universe, and the theming was great. Scare-wise though, not so much. It was a little lackluster, to be honest. The animatronics moved super slow, and I know there was a mixture of animatronic and puppeteering in this house, but contextually, it just didn't land for me in certain parts. Like Foxy, based on the game, should be running at me. I also kind of chalk this up to missed cues with the scares. Like the lighting and scare timing was pretty off for us for most of it. I actually questioned if they were supposed to move in certain parts or just sit dormant, but menacingly. And I hate saying this, but I rank this one a little lower and just walked out feeling pretty underwhelmed. But I really, really wanted to like it more than I did. And this is also a case where I thought that the robed employees in the house were actually scarier than the scare actors themselves. Next up, we have the horrors of the Wyatt Six. I'm not big on wrestling, so I really didn't know what to expect with this one. But I will say that the visuals playing in the queue were pretty disturbing. We didn't use our express pass this time around because the wait time was only about 25 minutes and it was pretty accurate. But this is where I want to point out that they were handing everyone these orange universal tickets, and I'm not entirely sure what they were for because we didn't hand them to anyone when we entered the house and they were all over the ground. So I assumed that it was for admission purposes. I don't know, something that I am still wondering about to this day. For the theming, you're basically going backstage of a wrestling match and getting a look at the production side of things, but with a little twist. This one was decent, you know, it wasn't my favorite, but it had some pretty good scares. Like that hallway of TV monitors where the two actors would jump out from each side and give you a double scare. That one got me pretty good. And I'm very aware that this is a world I am unfamiliar with. So obviously going to be a lot of references that I will not understand or appreciate, but I've heard that a lot of WWE fans are loving this one. So at the very least, I'm glad that it's been a hit with the right crowd. After getting out, we took a break to get a snack, that being pizza skulls, and trying out one of the seasonal cocktails, the Deadly Nightshade, which was so good. Afterwards, we headed into our first scare zone, Mutations Toxic 20s. Technically our second because the first was Origins of Horror, but honestly, I didn't really feel like there was much going on in that area. This one was fun, not a whole lot of character interactions. I actually stood at a few platforms to try to get the pop-out performance. Nothing happened. I started to leave and literally they jump out as soon as I stepped away.
Okay.
Like, I get wanting the element of surprise, but at that point you're just jumping out to no one. I enjoyed the newsstand actors though. They were pretty cool.
Police suspect a first-time industry is to blame for the ongoing chaos.
I also feel like some of the actors could have used a tad more mutant makeup and costuming, but that's a very tiny nitpick.
Uh-oh.
So moving on, we continued our food journey with the 5 Nights at Freddy's dining experience, where we tried the why not have both pizza and pasta. This should not have been as good as it was. Like, it shouldn't work, but it does. You did have to be careful with disassembly, so I think that the best approach here was to fold it like a taco. And ours wasn't as warm as it should have been, but the flavor was still there, and this actually ended up being one of our favorite items of the night. Afterwards, we walked through Club Horror, which was essentially a horror street party playing popular hits. Shout out to the dancers, they were great. They also had a photo op for the Black Phone 2 with the grabber all frozen up nearby, which was really fun. So I really enjoyed this area. Next up, we ventured into Diagon Alley for the Death Eaters encounter. Similar to last year, I had virtually no interactions. I tried to track some of them down, but they were constantly on the move or approaching people next to us or just walking right past us, so I had no luck with this one. I did manage to catch the wizard battle though, which I had seen videos of prior, and they just always look so funny and incredibly awkward. I didn't really feel that way though. I think with it being nighttime, the lighting effects really helped sell it.
Will you carry out the Dark Lord's wishes? Death Eaters, test their strength.
Until the very end. Okay, so the last Death Eater left the scene, leaving all of the wizards just standing there, and nobody said that it was over, nobody clapped. It was the longest minute of my life. And in reality, it probably wasn't that long, but it felt like it. But hey, I got ice cream out of it, so I'd say that's a win.
Don't get in our way. Soon every wizard and muggle alike will bow before the Dark Lord.
I was also happy because I kept getting complimented on my shirt, which had Thorn from the Hex Girls on it. I got one from the guy in the ice cream shop, a couple from guests in line for the houses, and some employees who were help facilitating the line, so that was really cool. So after that, we headed to the Jason Universe booth because we had our eyes on that elote. We got both the traditional and Flamin' Hot Cheeto one, and they were a win. I mean, you can't go wrong with these. The next house of the night was Dolls Let's Play Dead. The wait time for this was listed at 55 minutes. Not even close. I forgot to get a video of my stopwatch, but we got in probably around 8 to 10 minutes, so really short. I've heard this a lot, but this one kind of reminded me of Sid from Toy Story in like a sick, twisted alternate universe where Sid was still continuing to hurt toys. And it was pretty fun. There was a lot of unsettling imagery. The music really creeped me out, and what got me the most was the distorted baby doll voice saying mama over and over again. Yeah, ew. It also felt a little on the shorter side, but overall I still had a pretty good time with this one. Next up, we went into Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. The wait time was listed at 50 minutes and we got in around 4 minutes. So far so good. I really enjoyed the theming of this one. The queen at the beginning who held her dagger up at us with so much charisma. Shout out to her. And I just love the character designs in this one. I mean, it was a really fun Western theme with demon cowboys. I'm already on a high from K-pop Demon Hunters, so this was right up my alley. It had some really good scares, some great effects, and just overall was really fun. This one also made me realize that I love seeing scare actors on high platforms. It just makes it a little more visually interesting and the engagement's really fun. After that, we paid a visit to the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane, and we actually spent a good chunk of time here. The storyline and the visuals were way creepier than I thought, especially the humanoid cats. Am I allowed to call them furries? I also wasn't totally sure on the story details. I was under the impression that she either kidnapped children in order to turn them into cats or to feed to her cats.
Get down from there. No, get back into your cat bed. The children will come to you. Oh, far from a fallen friend. And a stalk of cattails. And a pinch, just a pinch of fish bones. Ah, yes. This will do. Grow in the family. Don't you be shy. Oh, come on up here. See for yourself. Well, I'm not the mean old lady you children seem to think I am. Don't you be a scaredy cat. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. One for you, and one for you, and one for you.
I probably should have read the storybook pages that were displayed, but either way, it was still really cool and I really enjoyed the scare zone. So the next house that we went into was El Artista, a Spanish haunting. Now, I didn't know that this was one of the most popular houses of the year, and I see why. I'm actually really glad that I went into this one blind, having not heard anything or watched any videos on social media so that I could form my own thoughts and opinions, because it speaks for itself. This is a great house. I loved the concept, you know, a tortured artist in 19th century Spain moves to an isolated country manor only for his art to come alive and possess him, and terror ensues. And this was one of my favorite houses of the night. I actually ranked it at the very top of my list. I really love the Monstrous series that HHN has been doing over the past few years. Just anything to do with Latin culture is so fun and terrifying, so I was really excited for this one. We have to talk about the set design because I was in awe from start to finish. As soon as we walked in and saw the exterior of the manor, I said, oh, this is beautiful, especially the courtyard scene. Oh my gosh. The wisteria vine monster and the statue that came to life, those got me so good, and they were just really creative scares. Those statues as street performers always kind of creeped me out as a kid, so there's a little bit of PTSD there that they tapped into. So good job. Yeah, I think that this one had the most creative scares in my opinion, and my favorite part was seeing their gargoyle rappel across the ceiling. That was just so cool, and I instantly said, I think this one is my favorite house. And the monsters were genuinely creepy, so I'm going on and you get it, but such a good house. Next up, we took a stroll to Mel's Dine-In to check out the zombie car hops. Initially, I thought I was missing something because there were no zombies to be found. Like absolutely none in sight. So we used this time to take a couple of pictures in front of Mel's, but honestly, I was a little bummed because I was so excited about this. But then I saw a pair of light up roller skates stroll by. And from there, the zombies were a lot easier to spot as they started coming our way.
It's very chaotic. Yeah, it's very chaotic here with all the zombies.
Also, I have to say, they offered some pretty high protein options.
I'll take that one. Oh, can I get a booth? Okay, then I'll go.
After that, we made a stop at the HHN bar so that I could fill up on another Deadly Nightshade. And at the same time, the Lagoon show was going on in the back, so that was really cool to see. We also stopped by to say hello to some of the house icons that were there.
Wow.
Afterwards, we ended up in another scare zone, Masquerade Dance with Death. And this ended up being my favorite scare zone. We got some really good interactions, finally. Some more wet than others.
She's like the f out of me. He's like, I'm 6, 7.
Clearly, I didn't know the 6'7" meme, and I still don't understand it, to be honest. Whatever, I'm old, it's annoying, moving on. And I absolutely loved the concept, just vampires lurking in the shadows.
How gorgeous.
Waiting for a while.
I'm thinking it was you.
He was waiting on you a while.
She said, turn around, turn around.
The next house of the night was Fallout, and the wait time was listed at 45 minutes. This ended up being the house that we actually waited the longest with Express, which was about 20 minutes. Not too bad, but definitely longer than what we were used to with the other houses. So I hardly know anything about this IP. I didn't play the games, I didn't watch the series that it's based on. So I leaned pretty heavily on whatever lore that my friends ran by me before going in, and still everything went right over my head, as it would in like a 10-minute crash course. I do wish that I watched the series beforehand just for context. This house just wasn't for me, but I'm sure that actual fans of the series would appreciate it more, although I heard some things online that this one really wasn't a fan favorite in general, so I don't know. Even as a standalone house, I found this one to be underwhelming and kind of bare. You know, as someone who is not familiar with this world, the story was a little hard to follow and the scares just didn't do it for me, so I ranked this one pretty low. So right next to Fallout was Galkin Monsters of the North, which sat at a 50-minute wait. I gotta give it to the originals because they were killing it. I did not expect to like this one as much as I did. I mean, right off the bat, beautiful entrance, the character designs were terrifying. They got me pretty good a couple times, and they had some great special effects. I think my favorite part was the last hallway with the webs and the corpses just jumping out at you. Very scary, very fun, so I ranked this one pretty high on my list. Afterwards, we decided to check out Nightmare Fuel Circus of Decay. I got the show last year and I really enjoyed it, but I feel like it's kind of hard to get into because you have to show up super early to get in. This was actually our second attempt because when we tried before, they had filled up already, so we had to try again later in the night, and we just managed to catch the last show. And we got in line about 45 minutes early before the listed show time. Super popular, I understand why. It's a very sexy show. All around impressive, shout out to the performers. It can be a little overstimulating at times, so be prepared if you try to go in the future. But overall, such a fun show. All right, let's talk about Jason Universe. The wait time was listed at 65 minutes, but we only waited a total of 6 minutes. This house was just so good. I think Friday the 13th fans are gonna be really happy with this one. I don't know, it was just so cool to see so many iterations of Jason, from big, bulky Jason to a couple of slender Jasons. That kind of confused me a little bit, but all of them still so cool to see. And they were everywhere. Like, sometimes I feel that these houses are understaffed because you can clearly see the little hideout room where the scare actor is supposed to pop out from. And when they don't have anyone, it kind of just feels super empty. But this house had the opposite problem. There were so many Jasons lurking throughout this house. It was insane. Mrs. Voorhees also made the most intense eye contact with me. Like, she locked in on my eyes like I personally hurt Jason. This one was actually scary. They popped out so frequently and from everywhere. Especially that last hallway, so chaotic. There were so many of them popping out from both sides at the same time. It was awesome. The next house we went into was Grave of Flesh, which was sitting at a 15-minute wait, but we basically walked in. So I like the concept, but this was not my favorite house, and I ranked it pretty low. I think that the facade of being in a grave was really cool. That was probably my favorite part. It started off with a lot of potential, but from there, this honestly just did not work for me. This house also probably smelled the worst. Yeah, there's just really not much to say. This one just wasn't my favorite. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we reached the last house of the night, Terrifier, which was sitting at a 65-minute wait. We got in approximately 7 minutes. This house, man, look, I was aware of the wet and dry path discourse. It was all anyone could talk about, which is why we specifically saved it for the end of the night, because we were going to go out with a bang. Now it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This house is extremely gory. I'm not a Terrifier fan. I didn't watch the movies. I kind of wanted to out of curiosity, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It's too much. I might even be a certified Art the Clown hater. It's not that I'm scared, it's just I don't understand the phenomenon. So the house itself, the exterior entryway was really elaborate and cool. Art himself creeps me out. I don't like him. So this house had some pretty good scares, especially that mirror illusion. So at one point you come across Art where he looks like he's standing far away from you holding a sign, but really he's just tucked away facing a mirror. So he's actually standing really close to you and he can pop out and be right in your face. That's exactly what he did, and that one got me pretty good. There were also a lot of funny moments sprinkled in there, and it was just so gross and such a kooky house. I was also anticipating some really bad poopy smells at certain points in the house, just from things that I had heard online. So I was surprised that I didn't encounter that, but I'm also not complaining. All right, let's talk about this blood path, aka the wet path. Super underwhelming. I can't be the only one here. I mean, this was the most hyped aspect of the season, and it did not deliver. And I had seen people going in wearing ponchos, coming out pretty wet, and if they were going in getting soaked, they obviously must have turned it way down because I barely got anything. I also thought that it would be better incorporated into the house, you know, like blood splatter from a kill scene, but it was just a tunnel. You walk through and that's it. You know, like I wasn't sure if there was supposed to be a character there waiting for us, doing something, or if I was just missing context, but it was literally just a room that you walk through and that was it. Now I'm just really curious what the dry path looked like because I haven't seen anything on it, but yeah, it just didn't do it for me. And to finish it off, we stopped by the Terrifier booth to end the night with a giant cheese stick. Overall, I had a good time. I really wasn't crazy about the big IPs from this year, minus FNAF and Jason, but it was still really fun, and I think it just made me appreciate the originals a lot more. So I'd say that it was still a win. I do kind of wish that I caught Art roaming around the park. We didn't see him at all, but I also heard that they pulled him from regular appearances just because he couldn't comfortably roam around without getting swarmed by people. So I get it. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what they have in store for next year's event. All right, guys, well, that is all I have for you today. I hope you had a really fun Halloween. And if you ended up going to Halloween Horror Nights, let me know in the comments below what your favorite house was. I really want to hear about it. All right, guys, well, I will see you in the next one. Bye.